Welcome to He Said, She Said, Food for Thought. Today I'm making one of my son's favorites, and they're meatballs. So, obviously you can make a meatloaf, you can make a steak, you can make whatever, but for some reason he happens to love these, and it's one of his favorite meals, which, coming from a 12-year-old, after all the things I've cooked, I find kind of interesting. I do this a little bit differently. I've never actually filmed this, never given anybody my recipe. So what I will tell you is fresh garlic is awesome. I'll explain to you about the sauce that I'll be doing later. Fresh parsley, which I'm going to put in the food processor. I've got some onion here chopped up that I'll put in, but I won't put in that whole amount. It's a little bit much if you have raw taste, and I know his palate. He doesn't like things too spicy. I'm going to put in about 3 eggs. I might add a bit more salt, pepper, Parmesan in the breading.
The eggs are from our chickens.
And then I've got this on top, which I won't put inside of the meatballs, but I will tell you they are excellent when they're stuffed with fresh mozzarella. And I'm going to cheat today, guys, because I'm not a big Alfredo person, but when I made these for a work party, I put them in this sauce, and I had the stuffed mozzarella inside. If you can get veal, excellent, that's great, but I don't like to spend a lot on that. What I have here is I've just got 80-20 ground chuck. I've got a mild Italian sausage, because for the people I cook for, they're kind of wusses, to be honest with you. But then this is just pure pork. I like mine a little bit spicier, but I modify it. And I'll show you how we do that. Later, when you look at the sauces, if you can get a hold of this, if you want to crush your own tomatoes, you can. I add very little spice, but again, the key is once this all comes together with a little bit of milk and you bread them, it's excellent. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I have a small onion here, and I'm going to add some parsley in. I try to take out the stems as much as I can, but I like my food processor because it minces everything very finely. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. And then I've got my sauce going as well. I've added 2 cloves of garlic. I've added another bit of onion. I prefer not to add too much onion actually to the meatball itself, because I like to add it to my sauce. So before I start this, I'm going to mix everything together and do a pulse. This is an old Cuisinart, but I'm going to add a little bit of, that's true. So I'm going to pulse it. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in it. You don't need very much. And we're ready for the next step. So I've added a part of the mixture here with, it's very simple, just fresh garlic, parsley, and onion. And we have the 3 meats. And I'm going to do this.
And what's
people
that?
Will say, oh.
What is it?
Worcestershire.
Ooh, can you spell that?
Can you?
Probably not, no.
Go ahead, pronounce it.
Worcester sauce.
I'm going to put a little bit of basil. Go ahead and say that, hon.
Basil.
Right? And then
not basil.
I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't like to add a lot of salt, but it's kind of nice. Just because you've got 3 pounds of meat here. So, I'll be right back.
Okay, so I take it you're going to mix the meat up?
I am.
And then put the eggs in there too?
Correct.
Okay, so
It'll take me a moment, and you don't want to overwork the meat. You just want to incorporate all the flavors.
treat it like you treat your other half. Real nice. So this is what we've got so far. She's just put the eggs in the centre, made a little well for them, and oh, a bit of milk. But apparently, you don't overwork it. What's that?
Breadcrumbs.
What do they do?
They bind everything together.
There you go, people.
But can you explain what the smell is like with the fresh parsley and everything and the spice?
Oh, it smells terrible. It smells really good. It looks messy, but trust me, these meatballs are worth cooking. They're kind of awesome. Okay, so here we are a few minutes later. The trick is apparently not to overmix it and to let it rest. So it's
Well, can you explain also the consistency? Like it's just kind of like it's bouncing back, but it's not overly done. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's not overdone. So we're going to let this rest and stick it in the fridge, and we will resume in the morning.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the sauce that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a white sauce, but I'm also going to use a homemade sauce. And I actually had the pleasure of working for an Italian family in a restaurant for about 4 years. And God bless her, she was telling me that you let this meld together and do it low and slow. So we've got a little bit more of the sausage, ground beef, and pork mixture. She kept it simple. Don't add a lot of stuff. And one of the tricks that she gave me, after you add in your tomatoes, which I'm using this, is at the very, very end, before you're ready to serve it, is you add 3 teaspoons or so of sugar at the very top and mix that in. You can always make this spicier and stuff too, but I liked it because it's very sweet and savory with the meatballs, and you'll see what we'll do tomorrow. So we're back. This is after letting all of the ingredients combine together in the fridge. I actually have a special guest today. This is my son, Dylan, who's going to be helping out. Can you tell us why you really like these meatballs, Dylan?
Just of all their flavor, I guess.
They are really good. All I'm going to use now, he's going to go ahead and pull off the film to show you. After you've left this in with the fresh parsley and the 3 meats, they all kind of come together into this wonderful little mesh of things. It's almost, I hate to compare it to a meatloaf because they're so much better, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All right, so all I'm going to do is roll some of these in a little bit of breadcrumbs, but I'm also going to be using that fresh mozzarella that I was telling you about. So I'm going to make 2 different batches, and I'll show you how that comes together. All right, so Dylan and I have gone ahead and we've measured these out. These are the ones with just meat. These are the ones that have yummy mozzarella cheese. And he thought it would be a nice idea to demonstrate how he did that.
So we're going to take the mozzarella, make like a hole in the meatball, just kind of seal it together, and then we're going to dip it in the breadcrumbs.
We double dipped them, and while he's doing that, I'll just tell you, we used 1/3 of a cup as far as our measurement. I've done these before with ice cream scoops. I've done them with, whatever you want to use, but this is a good size. They're about 1.5 to 2 inches for meatballs, and we find that they come out really well when they're in the oven. I'm going to use 375. Some people like to do them at 350. Some people like to do them at 400. 375 is that happy medium. And then just a little bit here. I did not add any oil or anything to it. I'm just putting a little bit of beef broth in the bottom to keep these really moist.
What?
So we're going to go ahead and cook these. I'll time it at about 40 minutes to double check them, and they should be delicious. So as you can see, these have been going for about 45 minutes. I just turned the broiler on for a moment to kind of crisp up the outside of it. The ones on the right have the mozzarella. I added a little bit more breadcrumb because it likes to ooze out of the center of it. I'm going to let these cool off and see what the son thinks. The ones on the left do not have cheese in them. Both are excellent. So we shall find out what the verdict is. Be back. Okay, this is our tester that I'm taking out. It's still a bit warm. They're still cooking. So I wanted to see just as a sample how much longer they should cook, but there's 3 different kinds of meats. There's 24 meatballs that we made. Some are stuffed with cheese, some are not. Let's just see what the son thinks.
These are really good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
I also have 2 different kinds of sauces. One is a roasted garlic Parmesan sauce. That's a homemade tomato sauce that I showed you guys that I was making yesterday. And so I think the verdict's in. As soon as these rest a little bit, you can add them directly to the sauce or just do it on the side like that as well. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching He Said, She Said, Food for Thought. Oh, this is an afterthought. We thought you might like to see one that has the mozzarella in it. And Dylan's going to cut it open right now. He's already demolished the one. As you can see, the mozzarella kind of oozes out a little bit. They're still really tender. You've got a bit of the mozzarella cheese, 3 meats, a breadcrumb. They're crispy on the outside and nice in the middle. So hope you enjoy. I know these are a big hit in my house. They don't last for long, and I hope you enjoy the recipe. Have a great day.
Hope you enjoyed.